Hello and welcome to My Sweet Home Living. My name's Tracy Campbell, where I love to give you easy and practical ideas that you can use to create, decorate your home in the primitive rustic country fashion. So come on in. I got some exciting things to show you today, and I can't wait to see who's here. Miss Penny from Remake It Pretty is the first one that I'm seeing pop up down at the bottom of my screen. While you are coming in, I'm going to make sure that do a quick sound check and make sure that we are streaming over into the one and only Craft Around the Clock group. If you enjoy watching live crafting where you can engage, interact with not only the creator, but also those that are watching, would love to have you over there. We have live crafting Monday through Friday, all day, every day over there into that group. We would love to have you. You can find that video or that link to the Craft on the Clock group by checking my video caption today. And if you're watching this replay later on YouTube, on My Sweet Home Living's YouTube channel, then you will know that my videos are best viewed by using the YouTube app on your mobile device, whether that's an iPhone, Android, or even maybe an iPad or tablet of some type. That will allow you to use your little pincher fingers and zoom in and zoom out and see things up close whenever you need to. So come on in here today. We are live on Facebook, and I can't wait to see you today. Hello, Miss Pammy, Miss Karen. Y'all are shuffling on in. I'm so excited. Y'all see what I have in my hand? All of these things today, I'm going to give you some display tips using these little three things today, using what we're going to create today. But first, I am going to take a moment and chat with you. That's what I love doing. That's what brings my heart joy, and I hope that it brings your heart joy too. If it doesn't bring your heart joy, then you can just fast forward. If you're watching this a little later on the replay, I fast forward through this, but you all are special to me. You're important to me, and I'm so thankful that you are here, and I appreciate you. And me getting to talk to you and chat with you, I feel like that's my way of just showing you how much I appreciate you. So come on in. Hi, Miss Donna, Karen, Brenda, Susan. Hello, welcome in. Wednesday, 3 p.m. We're hitting it up. Wednesdays at 3 p.m. seems to be a good time for me. So that's what we've been doing here lately. We may continue it. Hi, Miss Mary Snyder. Welcome in. Hi, Miss Christy from Speckled Hen Shop, way over on the West Coast. Well. Do you all know? Have you ever had little things like this, like these little American flags? Or maybe like a little doll or something small that just needs a little oomph, to display it, right? Or maybe it just needs that little something else extra. Like last week, we worked on these little hopping bunnies. Well, after I signed off of that video, I got to thinking, well, man, these do look really cute in the Crocs, don't get me wrong. And that's originally why I created them, were as some Croc pokes, as I call them. But I thought, how cute would it be if we created a little block to go along with this bunny and use it as a display piece? So let me just show you. Let me just show you what I did. And I'm going to show you today how easy it was to create. I need to put a little bit of glue in there, but I didn't want to put glue in there yet until I was able to show you the process. But these turned out so cute. You can color and decorate them in any theme that you want to go along with any little piece that you want. And many of you have been asking how I made them. So I'm going to show you today how to make these sweet little wood blocks. They're super easy. And these are just regular craft blocks. They come in lots of different sizes, okay? They do have some at Hobby Lobby. Am I not in Craft on the Clock? Well, let me check. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes. Let's just go and check. Craft Around the Clock. I have it pinned in my groups. It's going to take a second to load. I am there. I'm there in the Craft Around the Clock group. Each week we have a different header photo that tells you what our Fun Friday theme is going to be. This Fun Friday theme is soft and simple neutrals. And that's what we're going to be crafting and decorating up this Friday. I'll be live at 8:15 a.m. Central Time for a special segment in that fun themed day. I can't wait for that. all day long, from 7:30 in the morning till 9:45 Central Time that night. Okay. Now, these blocks are from the Dollar Tree. And would you know the Dollar Tree? I haven't been able to find them anymore. Have we activated a stars party? Oh my goodness. I would love it. Thank you all so much. These are from the Dollar Tree. You can buy these individually. I bought these, I think, last year, but I went back this year to try to find more, and they don't have them right now at my Dollar Trees. However, they do have some that are very similar at Hobby Lobby. Okay, here they are. They look a lot alike. These from Dollar Tree are hollow, I can tell. The ones from Hobby Lobby, I feel like are solid. Okay, they just feel a little heavier. But the ones at Hobby Lobby come in a set of 4. And whenever they have the wood pile things on sale is the time to get them, because they go on sale. They're regular for a pack of 4. They're regular $7.99, but of course they always go on 40% off. Thank you, Ms. Ravinio. Thank you so much for those stars. I appreciate you. Someone else has sent me stars and it's not letting me see. Miss Christy, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And then the ones from the Dollar Tree, they're a little bit bigger. So let me compare. They're a little bit bigger. These are 2-inch blocks. These, when I measured them, these are more like 2 1/4. So you wouldn't think that it's a whole lot of a difference, but it does make a little bit of a difference. And what is my preference? I like the ones I can't find anywhere anymore. Isn't that the way it goes? I love the ones from the Dollar Tree because they're just a little bit bigger. They're not too big, but I feel like the ones from Hobby Lobby are just a little bit small. But that's just me. These may be more suitable for the things that you're creating, okay? Michael's, yes, thank you, Diane. Michael's does have them as well. I did get online and saw that they had some online. I've also seen others say that you can find them at other places online as well. So just search for like 2-inch blocks or 2 1/4-inch blocks. You can even go, you could go bigger if you wanted to, depending on what your project is that you want to use them for, okay? Hi, Melody. Sharon, welcome in. Hi, Miss Connie and Bonnie. Okay, so the ones that I used for the bunny, which I feel like were so, just like, they were so perfectly sized. I didn't even have to think about it. These were from the ones that from Dollar Tree. These are 2 1/4-inch square wood cubes, okay? And I have some stamps that I used for these, but I don't want you to think that if you don't have stamps that you can't do this, okay? You can print off some big size letters and Mod Podge them on with some coffee podge, because it will give you that coloration, okay? Or you can print off some images of things. You can really kind of get creative with what you put on your box, okay? That's just the bottom line. Oh, you have a lot of them, Cindy? Okay, good. My Dollar Trees don't seem to have them in store anymore, so I don't know if maybe that's just my area or if it's across the board. I did not see them on their website either, so maybe you might have some in your stash, or maybe you have some scrap wood that you can ask someone to cut down for you to size. But you can make it work. Okay, I trust the process. Y'all are so creative. You can come up with ways. Another idea is I have some of this vintage paper. These are like vintage ads, like classified ads, sort of like vintage newspaper ads. That's the word I'm trying to say. You can find these on Amazon as tissue paper or bags. This just happened to be a bag from something I bought at an antique store on our Pennsylvania trip last fall. But it's very similar to some of my tissue paper that I have. But I thought this would be even really neat to use on some of those blocks, wouldn't it? Right? So there's another idea for you. Today I'm going to show you exactly how I created this one. And we're just going to go through the process. That's it, the short and the simple of it. You're going to need some antiquing wax or some type of a wood stain. And you'll need either some black paint or maybe like an ink pad. Okay? Long time no see. I hope you're doing good. So what I did to start off, I'm going to take a base. It says we were trying to reconnect. It gave me a good scare. It gave me a good scare. But I disconnected from my Wi-Fi, and I think we're going to do okay. You can also use scrapbook paper. Absolutely, Miss Alice. Thank you all for chiming in with all of those neat ideas. Hi, Miss Gina. How are you, friend? Hi, Miss Cindy Clark. Okay, I'm taking a wet baby wipe, and I'm just going to kind of dampen the surface. I might take a couple of these or take a little bit of water and dampen them a little bit. Just kind of dampen that wood because mine are really dry. Mine are really dry. And I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this Waverly Antiquing Wax because I feel like sometimes it goes on darker than I want it to. But I figured out the way that I can get it to look where I'm happy with it is by using a wet wipe and kind of dampening down the wood surface first. So I'm just going to take the lid and I'm going to take my wet baby wipe, okay? And I'm just going to add some on my baby wipe and I'm just going to make a couple little streaks and then kind of like put some blobs on there. And then I'm going to use the rest of my baby wipe to kind of smear it out and spread it, and it will sort of dilute it as I go, okay? And if it's too dark for you, get a clean baby wipe, and then you can wipe back some of that wax, okay? The more you wipe it, the brighter or the lighter it will be, okay? So let me just kind of show you here. And it will help if you have baby wipes that don't want to create fuzzies like mine do, but we'll work around it. You can see how that lightens up a little bit. Here's the side where I have not rubbed as much. And you can tell the more you rub, the lighter it will get. So that will help you achieve the color tone that suits you, okay? You love those blocks, Miss Sheila. I do too. They're pretty easy to craft with, but I had several extras that have just been in my stash. And after last week's little hopping bunny video, I got to thinking, oh, I bet that would work. And I just kind of sit down here for a second, and sure enough, we got it to work. And I wasn't on live, it wasn't on video, but when I posted the photo, you all were asking, you know, how did it? I was like, okay, we're going to have to do that. So here we are showing you how to make those little primitive wood blocks. And they don't have to go just for the bunnies. You can stick all kinds of things on those little display sticks to get a different look for a different holiday. Now, I am going to do all four sides of my cube just because it will bug me if I don't. I've got to have all four sides done. Did my comments stop? I think they did. Hold on. Let me swipe over. There we go. There we go. Thank you so much. For those of you that sent stars, I appreciate you. Okay, there we go. Now, that was pretty easy, right? Not too hard, and it's really, they dry pretty quick too. If you want to stick a little bit of heat to it, you probably should, especially if you're going to stamp it. Let me grab my, knocked over my trash can in the process. Okay, put up my heat tool and forgot that I had closed the drawer, so I had to kind of dig it back out. Sorry about that. Give it a little bit of drying, just because if you go to stamp it, your ink may bleed a little bit if the wood is still damp, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it on top of that metal lid, and I'm just going to let the heat go onto it. Hi, Miss Parm. Hi, Tamara. All right. We got lots of my Craft on the Clock Creative Team sisters in the house today. That always warms my heart. We have many more that are also here in the comments that are not part of the creative team, but maybe they are content creators that you may enjoy as well. We'd love for you to check everybody out. All right, these will not take very long to dry. All right, and you could darken it later if it ends up being too light. Just apply another coat. I like it to be a little bit lighter rather than dark because I'm going to add some darker edges and I want my letters to really show up. So that's why I chose to go a little bit lighter with the stain technique. Now, if you go with a really dark stain, you may choose to use a different color other than black for your stamping and your edging, okay? You just want to think what two colors contrast. What are the total opposites from each other, like black and white, or a brown and a cream? You want a dark color versus a light color, one or the other. You can't have both light colors or both dark colors. I see a furry-tailed animal on my deck right out the door right there. If my dog catches sight of it, he may go ballistic. So just be prepared to guard your ears. He's sleeping right now. I don't think he's seeing it, but you never know. You never know. Okay. Now the stamps that I am using are from a set of stamps that I found naturally. Where did I find them? I bet y'all can guess where I found them. I bet you can guess. If y'all been around here for a hot minute, you know where I like to shop, right? Any guesses? Any guesses? My comments keep stopping. Darn it. Come on, comments. Hi, Miss Patsy. Welcome in. I'm going to give myself a real quick clean off. Hi, Miss Penny. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Miss Kim. These stamps were some I found on Facebook Marketplace. Yes. Have you ever thought of shopping for craft supplies on Facebook Marketplace? I'm telling y'all, although I will say, my Facebook Marketplace has not been very productive for me over the last month. I've really been disappointed. We'll get on that topic another day. But there was a lady that was selling a lot of her craft stash. She had stamps. She had some die cuts and some scissors and some Ranger inks and all kinds of things. And I bought them. And in those were some letter stamps. And I absolutely love them. And so let me just show you this one. It has some big letters, okay? Some big letters in it. But she also had some other stamps that I bought from her as well, that were just some random. You all seen me use some of the stamps before. Some of them look like handwriting. Some of them are just different, farm animals or whatnot, you know, just lots of random things. And I bought all of her stamps. And so I pull them out. I'm not usually a big stamper, so I wouldn't pay for them full price, okay? But you can find some secondhand stamps if you're watching around, okay? So keep that in mind. Hi, Miss Mary. Big hugs to you. I'm going to use a permanent ink, okay, for this because I don't want it to bleed or smear, okay? So my ink pad is well inked. I hope. Hold on. I have a U, S, and A stamp. I don't want to get that mixed up. I'm not going to stamp the top of my block. I'm only going to stamp the sides, the 4 sides. You can stamp the bottom if you want, but it's not going to show, okay? And I know I want either the R or the B to be visible. So B for bunny, R for rabbit. You know, you get the idea, right? We're going back to our preschool days. So I'm just going to take this little stamp and I'm rubbing it on my ink pad. My ink pad is a little bit dry, but it still has enough ink on it that it will work just fine. If it's overly inked, you're not going to get that faded look. So look at that stamp. Do you see the areas of that stamp that kind of are darker versus lighter? You know, like areas right in here are a little bit lighter. It's kind of, it looks worn, right? It looks aged. That's the word I'm looking for. So I'm going to rub that on there and I'm going to position this in the center. Do I have enough ink on that? I think I rubbed the ink off rather than, okay, try that again. I'm going to put it right in the center and just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. But I'm going to make sure that I don't move it, but make sure that I get all areas pressed down and then pull it up. And there we have our first R. I know it's backwards for you all. I apologize, but it really is the right direction. Okay. Now, on the opposite side from the R, I'm going to do the B. I have a B, just like I showed you on that block that I already made. All right. Get it inked up. There we go. All right. I'm going to put it on the opposite side. Put your finger in the center, and then I just kind of gently press down all the way around the letter itself, and then pull it straight up. There we go. It's kind of faded. I'm okay with that. If you want it a little bit darker, you can restamp and put it back on there, but just know that sometimes you will get a little bit of a blurry effect if you don't exactly match it up perfect. Okay? All right. Now, the other little stamp that I have is a little house, like a little salt box house. And I love this stamp. So I'm going to put some ink on it, and I'm going to show you. Well, I can show you this one. I thought that was perfect. Is that not the cutest? And it goes right along with the primitive look. So here's that stamp. Okay, I have inked it, and I'm just going to put it on one of the other empty sides. The other side, I put a little butterfly on, and I wasn't as crazy about it, but it still worked out just fine. There's that one. Let's see here. The butterfly, and it was kind of faded. I need to put some glue in that. It was a little faded. You couldn't really see what it looked like, but I just like the fact that it had a little bit different shape to it. You know, from the other sides, not every side had a letter, not every side has a picture. So it kind of broke up the monotony a little bit, if you will. Hear an airplane going over. Loud. Okay. There we go. There's the little butterfly. All right. So all four sides are stamped. So the next thing I did, now ready for this? How easy? How easy is this? Take my ink pad. Oh, shoot. Shoot. I totally forgot the most important step. I got busy talking and having fun with y'all. You've got to take a sanding block, and I should have done this before I stained, before I did the antiquing wax. So back up a little bit. Pretend that we're at this phase. I'm going to take just a sanding block, and I'm going to rub every single edge in every corner. I'm going to grind down those edges because, and I'll show you the difference here in just about 2 seconds. Let me just show you real quick. And this will get a little messy if you want to do this over like a pan or do it outside, do it over the trash can or whatnot. It will create a little bit of that, you know, that little bit of shavings from the wood. But it's super easy to clean up with a wet paper towel or, you know, something like that. But I didn't like those super hard, crisp edges. And this is what I did to soften them. Where's my other little sanding block? And this also softens the corners. So let me just do this real quick. As soon as I went to put that ink on there, it hit me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot the edges. Just gives you that softer edge. And I love focusing on the corners themselves. It rounds those corners to where they're not so pointed. It makes them look like they've been tumbled and played with, and, you know, they don't look so freshly cut and new. So soften those edges. And I'm going to show you what they look like. I'll show you the before and the after, the difference there. Now, like I said, I would do this before I did my stain. Where's that other little? All right. So I'm just going to take a little wet wipe, and I'm just going to kind of pull together my sanding dust, if you will, and that just fixed that mess right up. Okay. Now, I probably would have sanded this a little bit more, but shoot. I'll take this little rabbit out for a second. Let me show you. This is what it looks like with these crisp corners and those crisp edges. Let me put a darker. There you go. See how crisp that is? And when you sand it, it softens the corner right there. See how much softer that is on the corner? That's a good look right there. You can see where I sanded those corners and the edges down on that one. So I think I'm going to cover this up with ink anyway where I've sanded, so I don't think you'll be able to tell that I forgot to do it at the beginning because the ink will probably cover my areas up. So I'm just going to take my ink pad and I'm going to rub it along the edge, just like that. Now you can start off and keep it as simple as you want, okay? Do you see that? Now, I went pretty heavy with my application of ink, all right? Do you see that? I went pretty heavy. Now, how to get it heavier is you want to take that ink pad and you're going to not only do the edge, but you're going to kind of slightly go, I don't even know how to describe it. You're going to brush up over the edge a little bit. And the more you do that, the more surface of that wood will be touched by your ink pad. The more you lay your ink pad more horizontal, more flat, if you will, the more it will touch that wood. So I'm going to go a little bit slow, and then I'm going to show you. I'm going to hold this up to where you can see the difference on this one side. Okay? All right. There. Okay. Do you see, by laying that ink pad down, how much more of the edge, and I was able to sort of like bleed it over onto that wood a little bit more. Whereas here, I just skimmed the edge of that block. Now, my comments, if they would just keep rolling for me. Hi, Miss Francis. Hi, Brenda. Christina, welcome in. So, the more that you hold it almost flat with your surface. Do you see the difference there? Let me just see. I'm almost holding it flat on that block, but I'm not. I'm just holding it enough to where it's grabbing the edge right there. So that's the key to getting a little bit more of a substantial edge. You may not like that, okay? If you don't like that, you can skip this step, or you can keep it a little less covered than what I'm doing, okay? Now the corners you're going to have to go in several different angles because, you know, you've got several surfaces, several flat sides that will need to be touched on those corners, okay? All right, so this is really, you just touch and go. You touch and go until you get the look that you like. Hi, Miss Pam. Thank you so much. Hi, Miss Donna, Sally. Yes, I did stamp them. This is what we started with, okay? This is mid-process, okay? We've stamped. And this is what it looks like finished, okay? And I'll show you how to get that hole and how to fix it where you can use it as a little display block, okay? All right. Let me just kind of brush over this a little bit. Let's do a time check. We're good on time, so I can make sure we get these inked up. Now, if you're using the permanent ink, it should help, okay, for that ink to stay put, okay? If you're using a water-soluble ink like the Ranger inks, it may smear on you a little bit, which if you want to work the ink in a little bit different direction, then that might be what you want to do. But I'm using a permanent ink, archival ink, which is permanent, okay? Meaning it's like paint. Once it dries, it's not going to go anywhere. All right. You're going to it's sort of like vignetting. You know, if you've ever looked at photography and you notice some of the edges of the photo have a little bit of a darker area around it, that's called vignetting. And you're just giving it sort of like a little frame, if you will. A little frame around it. I had a phone call come in. I don't know. I even have it on silent and it still comes in. I updated my phone and it's changed some of my settings and I've got to figure it out. All right. So there we go. See how much of a difference that made, that shading? And you want to do it on the top. You don't have to worry about doing it so much into the bottom, but you do want to take it from the bottom and bring it up. So like this side, I have not done the bottom right here. I have on this one. But I need to bring up that color a little bit. Rub it. It depends on how wet your stamp pad is. If your stamp pad is really brand new, It might be really heavily inked. It might be more saturated, it might be wet. And so you probably won't have to do quite as much rubbing, okay, as I'm doing. But my ink pad is a little bit drier. All right. Okay. Thank you, Miss Pam. So I'm going to show you, since I've already made one for my rabbit, I wanted to show you, and those of you that were with me last week when we did the little hopping bunnies, the crock pokes that we did. I was trying to get all this ink off my hands. I don't want to touch it on anything. Hi, Miss Phyllis. Hi, Brenda. Pat, how are you? Okay. Now, what I did, I showed you with the little hopping bunnies how I put them on like a little dowel rod. And I had a really long dowel rod, and that was what helped me to be able to use these as crock pokes, right? So I thought I wanted some shorter ones. If I put all of them in this one crock, it might get a little busy with all the hopping bunnies in there. I made 3 of them. So I thought I need them at different levels. And I also wanted them at different color tones to kind of like coordinate, but not be so matchy-matchy, not to be exactly the same is what I'm trying to say. So I thought I'll take this block, and these dowel rods that I got, they were from Walmart. Just pay attention to the size of the dowel rod. I think the dowel rods that I got were 3/8 of an inch. They won't all be the same size, but whatever size they are, you're going to need to drill a hole in the top of your block. Hi, Miss Sandy. How are you? Okay, wrong side here. So I needed to find a 3/8 inch drill bit, okay, and drill a hole in the top of my block. So I have a 3/8 inch bit, okay, and you're going to mark the center, or you can just eyeball it, okay? I eyeballed it. But now what I will tell you is that when you buy 3/8 inch dowel rods, they won't probably be exactly 3/8 inch, which was my case. So when I drilled the 3/8 inch hole in my block, I went to put it in and it was too small. The hole was too small, and I was like, oh gosh. So all I had to do was take that same, keep that drill bit, and I just kind of had to waller it. You know that southern term, waller it. Wiggle it, squirm it. I just kind of had to waller it as I went, and it made that hole just a little bit larger. Now, the good thing about these Dollar Tree blocks is that they're hollow on the inside, which allowed me to be able to do that wallering a little bit easier. You like my technical terms? So once I wallered out that hole on the top of my block, it then fit. I was able to just wedge it down in there. Now, if you're ready to do this permanently, I would take my hot glue and I would squirt some hot glue down in that block, whereas it falls straight down in. And then when you go to put your dowel rod in, it's going to set down in that little puddle of glue down in your block, and just let it sit and cool for a minute, and then it's going to stay perfect. Now, if you waller out your hole at the top, you might have an ugly looking little hole there. So that's where the little tie comes in handy, or you can wrap some jute. You can wrap around some jute around it and set that around there. But if you keep that little tie, okay, or use your jute and wrap it up around that hole, it hides any imperfections of the hole that you drilled, okay? So keep that in mind. You're an eyeballer too, Renee, right? I mean, that's not the only way to do it, right? Right? These blocks are from the Dollar Tree, but I can't hardly find them at any of my Dollar Trees right now. But there are some that are similar. The size of these are 2 1/4 inch. The ones they have at Hobby Lobby are 2 inch. They have some at Michael's They have some, I believe, on Amazon, so just look around, but they're 2 1/4. That's the size that I used. You don't have to use the same exact size, okay? You can use different sizes for the project, the different projects that you're going to be doing. Now, my thought was that I could use these little blocks and I could put the letters U and USA on it or whatever, put different letters on it. Or the R I thought was cute because I have this little handmade Raggedy Ann doll. And I thought, how cute is that for the R? I could switch this one to the B. Switch it to where the B is showing. I could use the R for the little Raggedy Ann, and I could put a little dowel rod up the back of her dress and sit her down on there and make that little block like her little display piece. Is that cute? I like that idea. But that dowel rod wouldn't be anything that would physically attach to her. It would just slide up the back of her dress and it would hold her on there. You could tie a little string of jute around her waist and tie, that would help secure her on to that dowel rod. But I didn't put a dowel rod on that yet, but that was just kind of talking through the process on that one. But I thought that would be so cute sitting on a shelf, and it just adds a little extra touch. And I think the blocks together give just a cute little look too. The other idea I wanted to share with you, how many of you have gotten these little American flags, and you're thinking, well, gosh, where can I put these? How can I use them? I think these little wooden blocks would be perfect for that. Drill a little hole that's the same size as the flagpole and use it for that. So I thought, well, I should create one that's, has patriotic theme stamps on it or whatnot. Now, the size hole that you would drill for that would be much smaller. So let me get a smaller drill bit, and I'm just going to take a peek at the size pole that I have and try to find a drill bit that's about the same diameter. Okay. You can see that. So I'll try this and we'll just see what it looks like. I think these would be perfect. And if you wanted to cover these blocks in fabric, we did a fabric set of these blocks last year. Good gravy. There we go. Okay. Let's eyeball it in the center. The good thing about these hollow blocks is that they're much easier to drill. So you could use patriotic fabric, you could use burlap, cover those little things, and look right there. You've got an instant little way you can display them. Now, let's try it. Let's try it with this one. I'm going to go ahead and drill a little hole in this one. You got to hold it. Okay. That was like the perfect size. So there you go. A little display piece. Now, if you wanted to put a little tie around it, you totally could. Wrap it with jute, do whatever, hang some little rusty bells on there or whatnot. Put some moss around it, just to kind of dress it up, or just leave it as simple as that. How simple, right? Blocks are from Dollar Tree, yes, but you can find them anywhere. My comments keep stopping, so let me just make sure. Could put more than one flag. Absolutely, you sure could. Actually, I brought out some of my flags back there, and I have 3 of them in some old oil funnels, and I like the way that 3 of them kind of look together. Yes, cute idea for Raggedy Ann and Andy. You have both of them. Yeah, you could do that. And listen, Raggedy Ann, it's perfect with the little patriotic theme. But that will hold your flag for you. and or use that for your Raggedy Ann, and I keep knocking things over. I'm being clumsy here. But I think that's so cute sitting on that little block. So I think that's probably how I'm going to use this block, is setting her on it. It just adds to the vintage kid toy, feel, I think. And of course you could do them up with any color you want, but get creative. If you make some of these primitive blocks, I would love it if you would share your photos with me. You can share your photos in my All Things Primitive group. You can share your photos in the Craft on the Clock group if you are a follower. And you can also share them in my YouTube community as well. So get creative with these little blocks. Yeah, I'm gonna have to drizzle some hot glue down in this one. And once I do, if you got the flat edge of that wooden dowel rod and it goes straight down, and you'll be able to tell when it's sitting flat, and it will sit down in that hot glue and keep it. Now my rabbit, I can still rotate my rabbit, any direction I want, depending on, what letters I want to be seen or whatnot, but it'll keep that skewer from teetering. If your blocks are hollow. If your blocks are solid, you won't have to worry about it teetering. You'll just want to make sure that you drill your hole straight down and not do it at an angle. Okay. If you do it at an angle, then you might have this problem or something similar. Okay. So you'll want to drill it straight down in there if your blocks are hollow. All right. So fun times. I'll be live on Friday morning at 8:15 a.m. Central Time, live in the Craft on the Clock group. It is our soft and simple neutrals theme day. I don't know what I'm going to make yet. I need some ideas and help from you. So chime in and let me know some ideas that you would like to see that are simple, soft, neutral tones. Coffee grunge lends itself really well to the neutral tones. We could definitely do something like that. So let me see. The stamps, they are used. I purchased them secondhand from a lady who was selling a lot of her craft supplies on Marketplace. So could I make oh yes, you could make your child's name with them. That would be darling. I know there are some little mini books, some little mini golden books. How cute would that be to put a little mini golden book on top and have, little letters of your child's initials or whatnot? I will tell you, I also think, oh no, I just broke my little duck. I'll have to fix him. He's fixable. I think it would be super cute to, now I think this is a little big for this block. I would need a bigger block, but I think it would be cute to put a little duck on top of the block. You get creative. You've got lots of different things. You made some mini raggedies that I can use. Perfect. Easter eggs. Yes, that would be a great idea. Okay. I'm checking your comments. We have just a few more minutes. Thank you, Miss Pamela. Have a blessed day to you as well. May I ask where I found the Raggedy Ann? I bought it. I cannot remember which one of our sellers. It was our last market day that we had in Craft Around the Clock. We have a market day every other month. We have one coming up in April. And they usually have either handmaids or vintage or thrifted pieces, craft kits. You'll see a variety of different things, but there's a new live sale every 30 minutes. And I bought this from one of the sellers. Is she not so cute? But I thought, she's so tiny. She's perfect to tuck in on a little shelf. I could totally probably make one, but I thought, I couldn't make it as cute as this, I don't think. Her little face is darling. Look at her little face. I think it's painted on. And her little dress is so cute. Look in the back. And it is sewn. Everything on it is sewn. Even, now it does have a little tag. So she may have bought this as sort of a doll, and then she probably grunged it. But her little legs are all stitched together. You can see where it's been grunged and stained. It does have a little tag on it. So, but you can buy things like this, and if they're not grunged, you can soak them in the coffee grounds, and it gives them a primitive look right away. All right, let me see. Scroll down and find these comments. Be cute with a mini nest and eggs. That's a great idea. Yes, that's a great idea. Okay, well, I'm going to see you at 8:15 live on Facebook. I can't wait to see you and watch all of our creative sisters every day, all day in the Craft on the Clock group. Y'all come join us. We'd love to see you.